bring into things. So let's first try to understand where we are currently. And I think I had shared few videos about insurance concepts, the domain concept. And there were basically three videos, one basic and then two advanced things, right? So where are we? Have we completed that, all of you? Yes. Is there anyone who has not completed? Just completed, okay. Yeah, you completed, huh? Pankaj? Okay. Karthika, I know that you have completed it, okay. So why I wanted you to know about insurance is that that EIS is, when you see EIS, what is EIS, right? EIS as a tool is the solutions to solve insurance problems. So first we should understand the problem, and only then we can try to, understand the solution. Once we know what is the problem, the problem what we are trying to solve here is insurance problem. Okay. Now, if you have gone through all these videos, now you know that what is insurance, right? So I'll ask quick questions about what is insurance, and then we'll talk more about EIS. Okay. So, Pankaj, what is endorsement?
Let's just give me the answer of what is insurance, basically. Let's start from there, Prabhuji.
Arpita.
There is some risk factor. To recover that, they are providing insurance. Like we need to buy some of the policy. Like after reading the quotations, we need to go through policy, and then after policy, we need to pay the amount according to the.
What is that amount? Yeah, so it is called premium, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do we get to a premium value? How do we get to a premium value?
After filling the form.
After filling the form, right? There's some, so you fill in your age, you fill in if you have any current sickness, right? Are you diabetic, or all that kind of stuff, Those are all parameters to be entered. Okay. Yes. And button runs, it gives you based on the parameters of, somebody's smoking, somebody's not smoking, somebody uses tobacco, and all that kind of stuff. Then you get a premium value. And then you have, your premium can be annually, monthly, and all that, right? Okay. Endorsement.
Mid of the policy.
Huh?
In mid of the policy.
Yeah, you see,
one action policy, current policy.
That's the previous thing. Yeah. So
Karthik, we are audible, right?
Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you should be.
So Arpita, you can explain.
No, yeah, go ahead. Louder. The loudest you can be.
In mid, as I told, in mid of the policy,
Right.
we can add or make some changes in the premium. So
Any change you do is endorsement. It can be a rate bearing change or a non-rate bearing change as well. It can be a name change. That is not rate bearing. But let's say if you realize that my date of birth was wrong, it is a rate bearing change. So all of that is endorsement. Endorsement, English meaning is change in something's running. Okay. So the insurance has to be active. We will be endorsement in between. Perfect.
So Arpita, you said mid of the policy, right? Mid of the policy meaning, so there is a term of the policy. Like your policy is valid for a certain period, right? If during that period you want to do any changes in the policy, that is called endorsement. It doesn't have to be in the mid, like it can be also in the starting or during the end time of the.
While the policy is still active.
Right. So generally, if you see auto insurance, right, the car insurance or the bike insurance, it expires every year, meaning that term of the policy was 1 year. But if you see other insurance like lifetime insurance, you guys might have, right? So it goes till 65 years of your age. So your policy is valid till so long, right? So that is the policy term. For auto insurance, the policy term is 1 year. But for life insurance, it could be like 30 years, 35 years. So that is the policy term. So during the policy term, you can do n number of endorsements. Okay. Any change basically you want to do, you can call insurance company and go through the changes. Okay. And that might change your premium or might not change, depending on the kind of change you are looking for. So it could be an admin change, kind of change, like what Piyush was mentioning, that it could be a name change. In that case, there will be no impact on the rate. But if it is like you are changing your benefits, now suppose your lifetime insurance you had covered 10 lakhs, right? Now we want to increase it to 20 lakhs. So basically, you'll have to pay more premium if you want to cover for 20 lakhs. Okay. So that is one question. Then Karthik, what is a reinstatement?
Reinstatement, for reinstatement there is a grace period before and after grace period. For before grace period there will be a few conditions we can directly change or reinstatement is it is after the cancellation. Reinstatement
Correct.
means after cancellation there will be two things. One is before grace period and the second is after grace period. Before will be there will be some particular time in between. If we wanted to make active, we can make it active, or we can neglect that. If you wanted to make it active after the grace period, there will be some few conditions we have to accept for that. So this is the reinstatement with lapse.
What is that keyword if for that, Karthik? If the grace period is ended and customer wants to reinstate the policy, what is that keyword?
Reinstatement with lapse.
With lapse. Okay. There are two terms: reinstatement without lapse, reinstatement with lapse. Okay. Reinstatement is clear, everyone? Pankaj? Basically, if your policy is cancelled for some reason, right? Non-payment of premium or any other reason, and the customer wants to reinstate that policy, meaning they want to restart that policy. It was cancelled, right? But they really want to reinstate it. So that is the process they have to go through, reinstatement of the policy. And there are two type of reinstatement. So if a policy is cancelled, like today it is cancelled, for next 30, 60 or 90 days, there will be a grace period. So if customer approaches in that grace period, they'll reinstatement without any questions or anything. But if it is like, that grace period has ended, 90 days or whatever the grace period is, if that grace period has ended, the customer has to go through a different process, and that process is called reinstatement with lapse, meaning the grace period has lapsed, but customer still wants to do reinstatement. Okay. Good explanation, Karthik. So now we understand, like, what is insurance and what is the problems that we are trying to solve. Okay. So EIS as a company, they said, we can develop a core system around insurance solutions. Basically, suppose if I am in an insurance company and I want to hit market, like suppose I'm not in India and I want to start an insurance company here, right? So one option for me is like I start developing this application from scratch, meaning ground zero. I don't have anything. I start writing a Spring Boot application or a Spring application, whatever application, and then I build my product. That is a time-consuming process. It's going to take at least 5 years if I want to write this application. So what EIS did is, we will give you a core application. Okay, you build your products in that core application, and basically you can hit the market within months. The time which is going to take years, now we are saying that you can take a few months and hit the market. Okay, so that is the EIS product. Okay, any company, like suppose LIC, they're not into car insurance, right? They are only into life insurance. If they want to sell car insurance tomorrow, the one way is that they utilize their legacy system, or they build a new system from scratch, right? And then that is going to take time, suppose 5 years or whatever time it is going to take, and then they can hit the market. The other solution is LIC approaches EIS, saying that you provide us the core solutions and the core product, whatever you have developed, we will customize it based on our requirement, and then we will hit the market, and that will speed up things, right? So that is what EIS tool is. It provides your core insurance solutions. Okay, like the core solution would be like, you will be able to issue a policy, you will be able to collect billing, the premium from the customer, you will be handle any claims. Like if a customer files for any claim, you will be able to handle that claim, meaning that for that risk whatever has happened, for that you will be liable to pay. As an insurance company, you will be liable to pay claims to the customer, right? Suppose you have an auto insurance and you have a damage with your vehicle. In that case, you can approach insurance company, and insurance company is liable to pay you because you have a contract. That contract is policy, right? If you have that contract, insurance company will pay you the claim. So that claim handling, the policy handling, the billing handling, Everything is there in the EIS solutions. And as an insurance company, I buy this product, customize my few things, and then basically I hit the market. Okay, this is as simple. Now let me go to MS Paint and draw something. So EIS, they actually started long back, maybe in 2000, right? Or even early 1990s.
Yeah, so they were basically pretty dormant. They were not very active. So back in 2015, they became very active and they had few customers in US. They were very dormant. You don't understand dormant? Active, dormant, inactive. Dormant basically means inactive. They were not very into it. So EIS, they are, the EIS has competitors. You understand that?
Competitors.
Competitors are Guidewire, Majesco, Vitec, and I think there's one more solution. Okay. So essentially, there are products,
Core solutions.
core solutions or products, or they're basically platforms, just not products. They're platforms. They will go end to end. All the possible core functions or operations of an insurance company. They'll be able to do all that out of the box. Right? When they create such platforms, they take into account the common ways of doing such operations. How an insurance company will operate. There's a market research which happens basically. They go to the market and see what are the requirements. Based on that, they will create. But apparently, not every insurance company works the same way, right? They'll have few nitty-gritties here and there. Slight variation. Even the algorithms are different. Some companies will take age as very, very important factor, but some companies may not take that age factor very important. May not be important for them. That is where we come into picture. We are the ones who are doing the delta work for them. Delta is what you have out of the box. Like this is a box, right? That box or whatever, under
Yes.
the oval. Right? That is the box. You have features out of the box. There are companies which may not work the same way how EIS is set up. They want us to do that modification so that it gets aligned to their needs. So it's called delta work or called enhancement work or called EIS implementation for the particular business company or an insurance company. Making sense? And each product has its own competency. Competency is in, let's say you WhatsApp, right? You use for chatting, but you rarely use it for money transfer, although it has the capability, right? GPay has chat facility also, but you don't use it for. Each platform has its own competency. EIS was always leader in the group insurance business. Their platform was kind of made in a way that it will support group products little more effortlessly than any other products. They were always leaders in the group, but group is a very small portion of what the world has, the insurance companies. Now it is growing. So you also have to understand what kind of niche they provide for the customer. So they were always niche in the group product arena. What is group product?
Like group product is like if one group of companies will purchase.
For example, is company. So it is a group of people wherein you have a group, but that group somebody else is paying the premium. Somebody else is taking responsibility of that group. Okay, that's for group insurance. Mostly it is an employee-employer relationship. Okay, that is the most common example. But I have worked on projects wherein there were schools. So in US, you have schools and everything is insured in US. WWE matches. I've worked for one of the clients, They have a niche product called I'm unable to recall the name now. But they used to insure the people who would go and watch the WWE matches, the audience. Okay, the daycare. Okay, day camp. People will go for day camp, right? They'll go for outing and all that. those were also insured. So that is a group, but not company, and there is no relation like employer. So let's say in a company, this school is making sure that this people this group is insured and they are paying for it. Right? Okay. But the most common seen example is employer. So EIS is always pioneer, or they were always on top of group products. Now slowly they have got into individual and also into PNC. You also have to understand from from a umbrella, from a legal side view of how insurance is all set up. So you have PNC, you have individual, you have group. PNC is property and casualty. You insure your watch. That is your property, right? Then you have individual, which is you buy for yourself. You buy your own term policy, for saving tax sometimes to do that. And then you have group, wherein a person is paying for the group. So this is how it is. Yeah.
So now with this understanding what Piyush mentioned, right? So EIS factored in all of these things, and they did market research on what are the basic core functionalities that market is looking out and in their tool basically. So they first started with group insurance, right? And then they also came into the individual insurance. Individual insurance is something like you and me buy as an individual. But if a company is approaching insurance company, like suppose Eastway now will want to insure its employees, right? So they will approach an insurance company and then they will buy a group insurance. That is called group insurance. And individual is like when individual buys any insurance. Okay. So EIS factored in all this knowledge into this EIS product, and they came up with this EIS tool. Initial design, like it started in I think late 1990s or early 1990. There was limited level of knowledge on the architectural side, and actually technology also evolved with time. So in around I think early to 2010s, they realized that the technology that they had used earlier to develop their tool. So actually the version it was coming as V12. Till V12 they go on, like they started with version 1 and they kept enhancing that version, and they basically ended up till version 12. So that particular version, like let's now try to put those versions. Okay, so there are now two versions we are talking about. EIS. Okay. V12. So let me put this version as this. Okay, so there were two versions. Actually, there's one version which was a enhancement of earlier versions. So they decided on the technologies. Okay, so the technology is going to be open source. Okay, they are going to work in Java J2E and the common technology which are available in the market like OpenL and Liquibase. Then for a database, whatever database was present in the market, they supported two actually. MS SQL, and then they supported Oracle. Two databases they supported, but then with time they realized that the technology or the architecture they had used, it has become a bottleneck in the sense that they are not able to scale up easily. Things had become very complex. And why it has become complex? Because this EIS V12 version they had designed was a monolithic application in the sense that all the modules. So when we are talking about insurance, we are talking about policy, we are talking about billing, we are talking about claims, right? All of these modules, customer creation, and all those things, including the DocGen, everything, they combined it into one big application. That is one monolithic application. And I'm going to show you the code and how I was talking to Palini this morning. See, under this particular app, you have everything. You have DocGen, you have customer relationship management, you have commissions, you have billing, right? You have policy, products, rating, reports. So this application became very complex. All the modules in one big application, right? That is V12. Till V12, actually they kept on developing feature by feature, and then they ended up with V12. But by the time they realized that this application was becoming more of a bottleneck for them, and they needed a new architecture to support their growth plans. So they came up with new architecture, which is V20, and I'm going to show you how different it is. But here I'm just trying to make the difference between what is V12 and V20. V20, what they said, instead of having one big monolithic application, which has everything built in that same application, can we have a microservice based architecture wherein it actually supports multiple patterns, design patterns. Basically, if you see, they are saying that each module should do a specific job. The pattern name is separation of concern. Here we are saying that if we are designing one module, it should do its specific job. Okay, the other module should do its specific job, and then this module should communicate through something. The technology they decided to communicate with these modules was REST API. Like Pankaj is a master in that, so he can take a lecture on how this services communicate. So what they did is they developed small microservices. Like policy is one particular module, and then we have billing as a separate module, and then claim as a separate module. Okay. And similarly, DocGen is a separate module, report is a separate module. Okay. And combined all of these together becomes my EIS. Okay. And how these services communicate is through REST APIs. Okay, and Pankaj show us sometimes how this communication happens through Postman. You can develop some project on your local and just try to show how this Postman works. How do we send the information through the REST APIs? There are multiple ways to communicate. There is the REST API, then we have SOAP based protocol. REST works.
After creating REST API object, REST API
Hmm. So similarly, we can do a SOAP-based communication as well, right? That's fine.
Little legacy now, but still the people who want to be more secure. But SOAP can be used with REST also. REST is nothing but it's just a specification or I don't know what to call it, framework, but it can be still used with SOAP. I think we're not using SOAP here, right, Kanush?
SOAP we are not using. So this became your architecture for V20. Now, see how easy it is to scale. When I say scale means when you are writing code into your application, right? You have multiple requirements of getting the data from there here. So your application kind of becomes very bulky, right? So can your application support the growth, that kind of growth, what we are going to see on our business? With V12, that became a bottleneck because we can do scaling, but it's very difficult because we are doing it as part of one big application, which is Spring App, right? This particular app what I'm showing you is a Spring based application. Here, these microservices we are developing, this could be Spring Boot or Spring application. But there are many of those, very small. I think for policy, Kalini has installed one. And then for UI, Kirti and team is working. They have installed one microservice. So see, with this architecture, people are working on a specific service, not on the entire application, right? And that flexibility is there, right? The scalability and the flexibility you get in V20 is not there in V12. So most of the insurance companies, they are preferring V20. But some of them, they are saying, look, V12 is better because it's an open source and you can do more kind of level of customization you can do in V12 than V20. So there are customers who are preferring V12, also V20. You want to provide your comments there?
No, so basically, yeah, V12, why people want to still remain with V12 is not because of the, it is customizable and all that. It is because it is stable. V20 is still not stable. It's still got a lot of issues. Although they are saying it is microservices and all that, but it's still, it is resource intensive. It still needs very good hardware. And let's say if you want to do a EC2, now you understand EC2? EC2? Cloud? Understand cloud? Okay, no worries. Don't worry. And so this version, right, V12, you can also call it as classic. Okay. So classic basically starts from V1 till V12. There would not be any V13. Okay. So how this was getting transformed or how this was getting implemented every year. So you just do 12, back in 2021, they had brought this V12, which just do -12. So I think 9, like kitna ho gaya? 21 minus 12. 9. So back in 2009, they released their first version of the EIS, the classic V. This is essentially could be a few years before also. But this essentially means it's a monolithic application. Everything is bundled in one single thing. And let's say if you want to make a change in claims, you have to really break the whole infrastructure down to make a small change in claims. But that is not the case in V20. Let's say you just have to change the claims. Just have to bring down the claims portion. Everything else will be as it is. Will be working. You can still be, your business can still be active, but your claims will not be working. That's all. Okay. Scaling basically means you were able to serve, let's say, 10 customers, right? You're now scalable to, you can scale faster. You can serve, let's say, 100 and 200 people. Just an example. That is what scaling means. Flexibility means you can have these things deployed independently. You don't have to, bring down the whole application to do small changes. So you have the flexibility. Oh yeah, it's fine. I just need one small change. I will just bring down this module. Everything else will be working fine. Cool. And what Prabhuji said, this particular thing, this itself has a lot of microservices inside it. So it is that general level. So almost all the functions which the platform has or had, that is the microservice now. You can just bring down that specific function and fix it, deploy change, and bring it back. Everything is okay, fine. So that is the flexibility it has now.
You can bring down only specific function.
Specific function. So you can just bring. So let's say you want to do there's an issue in the proposal service. Proposal service is also a service. And there's a change you want to do. Let's say you want to change the server name. Okay. Or maybe your rate engine has changed. You just change the URL, deploy it. Only that particular portion of the application is down. Rest everything is up. You can try that in your system.
Actually, he does that. So he's only working on policy side. But when he's working on the policy side, UI remains intact.
Right.
Claims remains intact because he's also only working on the policy side.
And let's say you can divide the work also. This person will only work on claims. This person will only work on policy. It doesn't have to really work. It doesn't have to really bring policy in this machine. And then when you are integrating, it is integrated by integration environment. That's all. How do you test? You use Postman. So let's say what are changes you've done, which needs claim. You mark the claim, object. You test it on the basis, and then you're done. And then there's an integration testing which happens in the later stage. Anyway, when you push change, they all get integrated and get referred together in one system, right? Whatever in TPD2, whatever it is, environments and all that. I mean, you may not know about it. So this is much flexible, more beautiful than this particular architecture.
Even the UI side, if you see the EIS V12, when we say V12 means meaning version 12, and V20 means version 20. So these are versions of same application, but these are designed in different architecture, different technologies.
So here, if I just put a bracket, we say classic, and here bracket Genesis. So right now, in your machine, it is not 20, it is 21 something. Basically, this is a stepping stone, for EIS. So there's a huge difference between V12 and V28 versions different. They have taken a big leap. Right? because the whole architecture is changed. Everything is changed. It's a new product in itself. They were having a lot of issues and they were going to the market saying, boss, how can still have monolithic application? You are still old school. That is why they took this decision, and it has taken a lot of time. I think we were talking about Genesis back in 2015 only, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we were back at the thing.
Mm.
To really have it ready, out in the market and all that, it took them
5 years.
6 years just to get it in the market.
Mm.
They were already working on it. They had teams and all that. So it is a long period of time which has gone into all this V20.
See, a confession to be made. I've never worked in V20 till date. Okay. So this is that latest. Like, this was released last year only.
Last year.
It became prominent in last year, but before that also it was there in the market, but nobody really was using it. EIS was training people on the V20.
But you can say it as Genesis.
Genesis. Yeah. So this is Genesis. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the different architecture of V12 and V20, how it is different. Okay. If you have seen on the wall behind you guys, right, there is a big poster that is EIS Suite. That is this diagram. That is V12 architecture. In the sense that it has 4 different layers. At the top, you will have applications, and then you have configuration, and then platform, and then Java. Okay, these are the 4 layers you can say in the big application what I was showing you here. So if you see, this is the code level, but this is the architecture level, like the policy core, billing core, claim core, and customer core. These are the 4 core areas of insurance which EIS supports. And then how EIS does the configuration part is it has provided all of these things to you. Your solution admin, product factory, we had seen, I think about product factory. Similarly, we have a claim factory as well, and then integration factory also is there. So there are so many things that we do at the next level. So this level of change or the functionality is at the configuration level, which you can configure in the EIS application. Okay. The third level is platform level, where it is not specific to a module like a policy core, billing core, claim core. It is more about the platform, how it works, the kind of workflows it supports. Like suppose multiple people are working on the same thing. So that workflow should be there, that one task is being done by me, and the other task is done by Palini or Pankaj. So those kind of things are done at the platform level. These are not specific to the core, any of this core. But these are application specific changes we are talking about. And the last layer is how do we deal about the code in the background. So the code has a presentation layer, which is designed in JSF, and then it has a business logic, and it has a data access. For data access, they are using JPA, Java Persistence APIs. Okay, Hibernate also they are using. Okay, and the business logic is to support your presentation and data access, and this is a middle layer which integrates your presentation with the data access. This is V12. This is one big monolithic application. Yeah.
V20 architecture is same or different?
V20 is very different.
Like when I'm going through the EIS because I found same this type of architecture. Like this picture I found there.
This is for V12.
So I found the same like for
Okay.
V20 as well.
Okay, V20, I don't have much idea. Internally, see, policy core is different in V20. So it cannot be V20 specific. One big EIS suite, it has policy core, billing core, claim core, and customer core, all of this in one place. That is V12 only, not V20. V20 is like policy core is different, billing core is different. All of these applications are different. Even the platform layer workflow, I think they might have done it in a service, microservice. Similarly, Dogen, they might have done it in another service, microservice. Because again, this is the V20 architecture where everything is done in microservices. Okay, so this was big architecture diagram for V12, which we have multiple layers. I think Pankaj, you have worked in configuration where we had configured product factory. Karthik, you also have worked in product factory, right? You have seen the business rules and everything we write in the product And now actually for one of the story, third party integration, if you remember Karthik and Pankaj, we are working on MDM integration, right? That story. So that is third party integration. It comes platform level. Okay. So this is the architecture about V12. Let me find out one for V20. Okay. Overwhelming, or are you guys following? Good, no? V12, you kind of make sense, like, you keep hearing what is V12, V12, V20, V20, right? What are these versions? So few of those, few of you will be assigned to V20, and few of you will be working on the V12. Pankaj, Vaibhav, and Karthik, you guys will be with V12. You'll be working with me. Okay, and I will also be there in V20. Okay, so you, Arpita, and Amar, you will be in V20 side. Okay, but I'll be working with you. I'm also learning V20 because it's new. I don't know much about V20, but I was seeing this architecture diagram for V20, and it looks very, very cool because everything is, microservice. So here for UI, if you see at the top, that is a microservice. It's a JavaScript based UI. JavaScript, it includes TypeScript and the React JS. So the UI of V20 looks like super cool. V12 has the old UI which was developed in JSF. Okay, you have seen that V20 UI. I can show you quickly. Works. Okay, it works. So this is my local host. I'm running this application on my local. This is PFG app. PFG is the client name generally, and if you see bankers, it will be something like bankers hyphen app. PFG is Principal Financial Group. It's a big insurance company in US. So they are our customer. Karthik and me are working in this project. So this is how V12 looks like. If you see, there is a customer and we have billing, policy, code, claim, and each of these modules you can just quickly, I can just click on it and show you how it looks. So this is the old classical look. So let me try to find a customer or so Arpita, maybe your first time to see this EIS, right? Vaibhav, you also? Huh?
This platform I have seen when I came here.
Okay.
Amar showed something.
Correct, correct. So this is that V12 UI. I have not seen V20 UI till date. And I was hoping that
Even I.
Falani will show me, but she Okay, so let me open one customer for you, Lalit Kumar, how it looks. So there is a difference between lead and non-lead. This I had explained in my session. You can go through the part 1 of EIS session. There I have explained. Okay.
Lead because it's like who provided
Lead
details and who didn't get the policy.
Correct, correct. They are
Details will be
the
there.
prospect. They are lead prospect for us.
Yeah, like
They are not yet our customer. So we
They
have
want-
created a customer in our system. See here, we have created a customer, but they are not a
by
real
the-
customer. They are not a real customer for us.
Like they just came and they know about the
Correct.
policy and they didn't accept it up to now.
Correct.
They accept, they will get the policy.
Correct.
So first
Same
they
thing.
will move to them first, then again the other person.
Correct. Correct. So like we can create a customer, but that doesn't guarantee that they will buy a policy from us, right? So they will become a lead customer for us in that sense. Okay, so if I can just quickly show you a quote also. This is the V12 classical one. Karthik is more familiar with it. And if you guys need another session, I think Arpita, Vaibhav, you guys will need session. We can show you like how to create a custom. We actually have this in part 1. But if you guys are,
Create the custom.
if you guys have some question, you can reach out to Karthik also. He can explain in detail. Okay, so this is how a quote looks like. You can go into data gather also, but some other time I'll show you. Okay, but for this meeting, I just wanted to show you how a V12 looks like, and V20 we are yet to see. What time?
11:30.
Yeah, sure. We'll wrap up. Thank you, Brita. Okay. So this is how a quote looks like, and this quote, once it is issued, it becomes a policy for us. So right now, I might not have any policy to show you, or there is one actually. Okay. So this is how a policy looks like. It's just a record, and if you open that, you can see the details about, like, what type of policy it is. It is a disability income. In principal group, we are only working for disability income product. Disability means, like, if you are working, suppose in a factory or somewhere, and you get disabled.
Like I have one doubt in this. Like the person who can apply for disabled, like who can apply for that? Like the person who is disabled from the birth. or the
No.
person who will be
Who is working healthy?
Healthy.
But there are
Some bad
the
situations.
insurance is about covering your risk,
Okay.
not about already.
I got that drawback.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Okay. So this is how it looks. V20 I'll show you soon, sometimes. Okay, but this is the architecture I wanted to show you about V20, and I love this architecture. Okay, and this is this microservice JavaScript UI based. The UI is separated out from the main application, and this communication happen through another service, which is a DXP gateway. That all the communications, this communication is happening through REST APIs. And Pankaj is going to show you in a session, like how do we generally get this in communications going. And again, this DXP connects with DXP is a digital experience gateway. Okay, and digital experience I'll explain some other session. Through DXP you can connect to this microservice, and this is actually the internal working of how your service works. It has a facade app, and your endpoints are developed in that, and that's those endpoints actually communicate with your stream. It's a Kafka based stream, and again those microservices are there. So again, I'll talk about this in detail in some other session. But just quickly, I wanted to show these are all these, whatever you see are the microservices. You see small microservices, and then you have the database here. The database used is Cassandra. Okay, and for indexing, we are using Apache Solr. Okay, so this is one big architecture diagram for V20. I don't have anything to show you in the UI side. Maybe Kirti or someone had asked them to take a session on V20 walkthrough, but let's see when they will be able to take. Okay, Hemlata was not available yesterday, so we could not take that session. So with that, I think you guys have some questions on the sessions you have gone through. Palani had a couple of them. Can you just tell? We have 5 minutes.
Like schooling is we have there like how the insurance carrier will get the amount back in the risk pooling what they have given for the customers or client.
Okay, so he is asking the very basic questions, like in the old days also insurance used to work. Suppose in a village you are conducting a wedding sort of thing, right? Girls' weddings, especially, people will come and contribute. We say it Kanyadan, like that's kind of a risk pooling, like everybody contributes. If you formalize this process, it becomes like you can do a risk pooling. All of you can contribute some money there, and if something happens in the village, you guys can pull out some money from that pooled amount, right? That is like a risk management kind of. So Palini's question is like once you pull out the money from that pooled amount, there will be no money left, right? So again, everybody has to contribute.
No. I will like suppose I have 1 lakh data. I will like for like 100% kept that one. 10% for 10% we have to claim. So that for 10% we will be 50,000. 50,000 will be there. So if they contribute again, they will add on that 50, not on 1 lakh.
Correct.
How that 50 will be included? Like what they given claim. What
So
they
that
do.
will be, see, in a company when you are working, right, there will be inputs and output, your
Okay.
credit and debit entry, right? If you have seen accounts, how it works, one is credit and one is debit, right? So that is how your account will be managed. All your premium becomes towards your credit, like credit to your account, and the debit, like whatever goes as a claim, becomes the debit.
Okay.
That is how you manage. Like your balance sheet will be calculated depending on how much money you are getting into your account and how much is going out.
Like the persons who got claim for them, like premium will increase.
Slightly, sometimes, just to make a check on the customer that they are not filing claims again and again. So what insurance company does is they say, like, if you file a claim, we will increase your premium a little bit, so that you don't keep coming back and again. So in that case, in other way, they are rewarding other people who are not claiming again and again. So their premium remains same. Like if you have a car insurance, right, and you don't make any accident in throughout your policy term, then your premium will also remain same. But if you are like banging your car now and then, then your premium will increase because you are fighting a lot of claims to insurance company. And insurance company wants to keep a check on you. Like, no, you don't keep doing it again and again. So they'll increase your premium each time. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
One more thing, like whenever we claim, we like whenever the customer does the claim, the policy will start or it will continue. Same policy will continue.
Same policy will. So throughout your policy term, like auto insurance is 1 year policy term. Life insurance could be 30 years long, right? So during your policy term, some risk happens, some damage happens, you can file a claim. You can file n number of claims.
Okay, after finding the same policy will continue.
Same policy will
Some
continue.
policy.
Same policy will. So suppose in the medical insurance claims, what happens, like there is a limit assigned to your policy. Suppose like 4 lakh limit. And I don't know how much is it in East Way for medical insurance. It could be like 5 lakhs. Done, yeah.
Can I ask them to switch?
Uh,
They're waiting time.
it's just 1 minute. Yeah. So in that there will be a limit up to 4 lakh you can claim, but if you exceed 4 lakhs within the policy term, suppose your policy is valid for 1 year, you cannot file more than 4 lakhs in that case. But otherwise, you can file a number of claims. So I'll stop recording. Any other questions, guys, you have? And those were good questions, Palini. Thanks for asking.